Welcome back to what is sure to be an absolute disaster of a video. It's currently Saturday. I've decided I'm mowing my silage and this, ow, try that again. This might be hard to do with one hand. Okay, so it's currently Saturday. I've decided to mow the 21 acres of silage I have to put in, and we're going to lift it on Monday morning. Now the problem with this plan is this is the weather forecast for Monday morning. And the best part of watching this video and not having to live it like me is you're going to know if this has been a disaster or it's went okay from the thumbnail. Because if there is a torrential downpour on Monday morning, believe me, it's going in the thumbnail. But unfortunately for me, I can't see the future, so at the minute, I'm definitely taking a big risk. I have 16 acres mowed. This is by far the driest field, by the way. The other two fields are not this dry. And we're on to now the final 5-acre field to mow, which is the wettest field on the farm. I might not even get it mowed, but we'll see what happens. The crop of grass in the reseeded fields are okay. This is the stuff which you may have seen in a video that I reseeded on the 7th of June. So that's 10 weeks ago. Didn't get enough fertilizer because I thought I would have cut this 3 weeks ago. Didn't have the weather to do that. So it hasn't grown as well as it could, but I'm still pretty happy with it. To be perfectly honest, I should be lifting this today, and I would be able to lift it today, and I really wish I'd planned to lift it today, but I didn't do that. I planned to do it on Monday. I have everything organised for Monday. So we're rolling the dice and we're going with Monday. If the rain arrives late on Monday, leaving this 2 days will have been a great decision, because the other two fields are a lot wetter than this one. I would have made a bit of a mess trying to get them lifted this evening. But by Monday, especially after a sunny Sunday, it'll be perfect. So 50% chance this goes perfectly for me. Monday's dry. It was a great decision. And 50% chance the rain arrives early and I'm lifting an absolute disaster. So we will see what happens. We're going to now mow this other field. We'll see how it goes. It's not actually maybe as stupid a decision as I just made it sound. The forecast gives the rain to really arrive at about 11 o'clock. And the plan is that we're going to start lifting by 9. And if I can get the first 2 of these reseeded fields lifted before the rain, the 2 wet fields, we'd be able to lift this dry field if it did rain. Like, I don't think it's going to be a total disaster. And the final field, the wet field, I don't care what happens it. It's just one of them fields at this point where it's going to be drained next spring, it's going to be ploughed, it's going to be reseeded. So I only really have to lift 10 or 11 acres before the heavy rain on Monday morning. And I think there's a good chance I'm actually going to get that. Second field's not terribly wet, but there's a huge hill. The camera does not do that hill justice, which really affects where you can take trailers. So it kind of needs to stay dry to allow us to get up and down that hill. It looks a bit wetter whenever you're looking at it from this side. The first field is the really wet one. Again, maybe it doesn't look as bad on camera, but that's the headland where we have to turn with trailers and then pull up that wee hill, and if it rains on it, it really is going to be a mess. But it's going to stay dry. We have to believe Monday morning's going to be dry. It's raining. It's actually raining. Oh, this is a bad sign for Monday. I managed to collect a branch on my way in, so I'll use this branch to mark the wet spot. The entire field's a wet spot, to be honest. Oh. And I'm wearing boots, and my boots are now destroyed, and my socks are wet, and Right, so I have a decision to make. Do I go and check the field and see where it's wet, or do I just start mowing and see what happens? I'll maybe go and check over here. It's actually not impassable. Now at the back of this field there's a bit of it that wasn't even cut for first cut, it was so wet. But I'm just going to mow the stuff that was cut for first cut, and then at the very end, depending on how we get on, we might try and cut a little bit of that stuff, but I'm not planning on cutting that, and maybe even to think of cutting that is being over optimistic. This field is just so bad, so bad. So the raindrops have ruined your view. I'm going to have to move my mount. Oh. Okay, I'll put you down there. Much better. Is that sturdy? That's sturdy. Alright, let's see how we get on. Rear mower, start. Front mower, start. Hey Ezra! Right now Ezra, I need to concentrate, okay? So give me a few minutes. How do I turn on my rear wiper? It's a good sign when you're mowing that you have to turn on your rear wiper. Oh, this is going to be bad. Right, play it safe. 4-wheel drive. Probably going to need diff lock. And we'll see how we get on. Way too high gear. Oh my days. Why am I in 12? Down to 7. No rush. Nice and slow. Right, it's cutting. We're just going to avoid any possible wet bits. Oh my word. Oh my word. If you could see what's happening behind me. Oh, that is catastrophic. I'm going to not get this mowed. That is just a disaster. Sorry, I'm not turning the camera around. I'm not getting up this hill. Oh my days. I'm getting stuck. I am getting stuck. I am getting stuck. What do you think? At what point do we just abandon ship? I mean, it's so wet. Alright, we don't want to go in there. We'll try and get some of it cut. Just ready on the controls to lift the mowers. Right, we're going to cross over a wet spot. So I'm going to lift the mowers and hope I don't get stuck. We need to sell this field.
Yeah, to Grandad.
Will he buy it? Maybe we could do a swap.
All you have to do is just joke to him.
Joke, tell him it's a dry field.
Yeah.
He'll never know.
The driest field you have.
Okay, good idea.
And then we'll buy it.
It has stopped raining, so silver linings. And I am making it up the hill, so that's kind of good. Right, I think we're going to mow through this wet bit, okay? I don't think it's that wet. Ready to lift the mower? It is that wet. It is that wet. It is that wet. Let's just skip it. Okay, we'll skip it. That's fine. But I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness me. It's just sitting, standing water. Look at this mess. Right, I need to turn, but I want to turn and not wreck everything. This field has never been ploughed, probably 50 years. And at the end of every year, the cattle are put in here to graze before they go into the house, so they always tramp the life out of it. So the soil structure is in really, really bad shape. So what that means is the water can't get down to get away, and we haven't had enough heat and sunshine for the water to go up and evaporate out of the soil. So it's just been wet for the whole year. And I am convinced if I got this ploughed, even if I didn't drain it, it would make a night and day difference to how dry this field is. I'm a little bit reluctant to plough it without getting drains done, because the best case would be you get it drained, then you plough it, job done. But that might not happen this year. Oh! I would like to get it ploughed. I would really like to get it ploughed. But I'm gonna need 2 or 3 weeks of like blue sky sunshine to get this dried out enough. But that's been very ambitious. It's what, the 15th of August. It gives another week in the forecast of rain. It'll be September before there's any good weather. Any chance of good weather, so oh, what a year. What an absolutely ridiculous year. Right, I'm gonna get the rest of this mowed. I will show you what it looks like when I'm finished. And then I'll see you on Monday morning where we will find out if this was a really good decision or if this was a really stupid decision. I'm optimistic that Monday morning I'll be turning the camera on, lifting the first load of grass, and it will be dry. And if we can get started when it's dry, I think we'll be okay. The thing I'm really worried about is the rain arriving at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and that would be really bad. So let's really hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, I'll see you on Monday morning. So there you have it. The wettest field in the farm. It's finally mowed for second cut. But my goodness, is it a mess. There's about 1.5 acres out of the 6 acre field at the back, which I didn't get mowed at all. There's a couple of bits, like the bit that I'm currently standing on, which is so wet I had to leave. But I think the bit I have mowed, I should get lifted. The 8S and the JF are very light on ground, so there's no real risk of not getting up a hill or getting stuck with them. And the silage pit for this field is literally right there, so half loads, third loads with the trailers is fine. It should be okay. Look at the mess of the mower. Oh my days. Okay, so the cows are closed down, everything's fed, buck rake's hooked on, we're ready to go. Oh yeah, and it's also started raining, but it's like a light mizzle. So if it stays as a light mizzle, it's fine. It's not going to stay as a light mizzle, is it? I'm going to run down to the house for a set of waterproofs, just in case I have to get out of the tractor at some point this morning. And then I'm heading over to the field. I'll give you an update whenever I'm lifting the first load, and then after that we'll do half an hour situation reports, so you can see how I'm getting on. At what point does it all go horribly wrong? And at what point do I get really fed up and just want this to be over? That's the second load out of the field. And the rake has just finished raking the first 3 fields and they're heading on to the last field. So we should get all the grass raked dry. I'm going to be waiting for a minute, so I'm going to jump out and I'll show you the state of the fields and the state of the grass. So the fields are really, really soft. It's kind of what you expect from a reseed, but if this did get heavy rain, it would be a total mess. There is a really, really good crop of grass on it, which kind of surprised me, to be honest. Usually the first time you're cutting a reseed, it's very light. And the grass is wet. Not wet, damp. Again, reseeds are just way harder to get to dry out the first time round, so it's probably going to be 20% dry matter silage, something like that. And another kind of bad thing is the amount of grass in these fields. I was expecting maybe 2 acres to a trailer, but it's going to be a lot closer to 1 acre to a trailer, which means this is going to take longer than I thought, and I don't have the time because the rain's coming. But I'm not complaining about having too much grass after spending the last few months complaining that I have no grass. It's just another thing which might catch me out today. But it's fine. We're also lifting a heck of a lot of stones. Again, it's normal for a reseed to lift stones, but we've already had 1 metal detector in the first 2 trailer loads. I'm expecting some more because the stones actually set it off. So we'll see how much that slows us down as well. Right, I'll catch up with you shortly. I'm going to concentrate on trying to get these first 2 fields lifted before they become an absolute nightmare. Okay, I'll give you some footage from each field. Is that a good idea? So this is our first field. This is the one with the really awkward hill and the awkward corner, which we're about to go down again for the second time. It's quite wet, but it's not the wettest. The second field is the wettest. And we've still managed to avoid any rain. Okay, so I'm pretty much finished the first field. There's 2 little small rows left to lift. And then we're on to the second field, and so far, I feel like I shouldn't say this because the second I do, it's going to start pouring from the heavens. But so far, we have avoided the rain. So I am happy about that. Really, really good crop of grass. Like a really good crop of grass. And yes, it is wet, so that's probably helping a bit, but still. Didn't look as heavy whenever I mowed it, but I think it was just really thick. Just kind of what you want when you reseed a field. Okay, 1 field down, 3 fields to go. I'll catch up with you when I'm finishing the second field, and we'll see how heavy the rain is. This is the last few row in field 2. Still no rain. However, I just checked the forecast, and I would say in 10 minutes here it's going to be torrential heavy rain. So I will get my 2 wet fields lifted in the dry, which is kind of all I could have really hoped for. But the next 2 fields, the next 2 hours of lifting silage are going to be pretty horrendous. The final field in the reseed block, so the third one, it's actually dry, so it should be fine. It could be a bit of an issue getting the loads out of the field because you have to drive through the 2 wet fields to get to the gate, but should be okay. But if there's a lot of rain in the next hour, the final field is just going to be a mess. Potentially not possible, but I'll turn the camera on when I'm finished field 3, and then we'll get to field 4 eventually. And I promise you it'll be raining by field 4. Like, we're not marking the field too badly. Just little surface marks. But it's already started to pick up with the rain. Oh, this is going to be a long rest of the morning. And we are into the final load in the final of the 3 reseed fields. Now, it did rain a little bit, but the tractor is already dry again, so nothing of concern really. It is currently 10 to 11. So by this point the rain was definitely forecast to arrive, and we are just now getting very, very lucky and are very, very blessed. Honestly, to get out of these 3 fields without having any significant rainfall was a 5% chance in my opinion this morning, so I am very, very pleased and very, very relieved about it. Right, I'll catch up with you when we're almost finished the final field and we'll see what the situation is. Well, welcome back to the 4th and final field, and things are going as expected. The field is just a disaster, an absolute catastrophic disaster. And honestly, I don't think it would have been much better if we hadn't have had rain arrive just as I was leaving the 3rd and final field. It is properly heavy rain now, but honestly, I don't actually think it's making a difference to the grass. And I don't think it's making much difference to the soil either. This was going to be a mess no matter what happened. I suppose it probably is making a bit of a difference, to be honest, because it mowed okay this field, and it was raked an hour ago and it raked okay. So I mean, obviously the harvester and trailers are sorer on the fields than mowing or raking, but the difference is it's pretty extreme. I've only been around the outside of this field once so far, and it's already totally destroyed, like totally destroyed. Right, I'm going to leave the camera on for 5 minutes, and you can enjoy a little montage, which isn't a montage, of me struggling to lift this grass for the next 5 minutes. I hope you enjoy, and then we'll catch up with you at the end of this mess and see the results.
You took a train to the south side of Boston. You showed me where birthday. Took 28 years of blood. I was lost in the field, loved on my own birthday. And I always felt like I was in between something like home and somewhere far away. But tonight on the west side in a bar out in Brooklyn, I saw tears outline your face. How lucky are we? It's been a hell of a week. We're all grown now. The smoke seeping out of your bloody teeth. We're home somehow. Upstairs with the guitar I was given when I was barely 14.
Oh my days. That is such a mess. Oh my days. Oh. Don't worry, it's ENS to the rescue, or the Pumas to the rescue. Oh balls. Am I in 4-wheel drive? Yep. What is Calvin doing? He stalled the tractor! He stalled the tractor! I mean, I have never, never seen worse. Welcome back to Tom. Welcome back to Tom Pemberton, This Farming Life.
Smoke seeping out of the bar down the street, but we're home somehow.
Last load in the final field.
You took a train
What a mess.
outside of Boston. You showed me where your whole heart stayed. Took 28 years of blood pumping through me to feel love on my own birthday.
Anyway, hope you all enjoyed my struggles. Honestly, I'm going to say today was a big success. First 3 fields, we got them lifted without any mess, without any issues, and they were the 3 valuable fields that were reseeded. This field was always going to be a mess, so the fact that it rained on it made very little difference. It's going to be ploughed, it's going to be reseeded, it's going to be drained. It's not the end of the world, all the grass is off. There's not actually that much clay in it because the mess was really the trillers and the harvester, so it was fine. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you again next week. Stick your abuse down in the comments and do like and subscribe, it really helps. Thanks for watching.